Okay. At beginning, this is going to be no spoilers for Doctor Stone Stone Wars or Doctor Stone Season 2, whatever way you want to say it. Uh, and then we're going to move into spoilers. Down the line, I'll tell you when. Season 1 is very good. Season 2, I'm not going to say it's bad, because it's not bad, but it's different than Season 1 in a way of Season 1 felt like a building up to the conclusion, uh, recruiting a lot of people, a lot more introductions. It felt more of those sciencey inventions, stuff like that in Season 1. Season 2 was just uh, a lot less from Senku's perspective this season and more from Chrome, uh, Tsukasa, and a few others that are introduced this season. I enjoyed it. I rated Season 1 a 7.5. I would rate Season 2, Dark Stone Stone Wars, a 7. Because I still think it's very entertaining. It is also 11 episodes. The first episode being a good bit of recap. Uh, Going to what they're going to do, the plans. Season 1 was all about building up to this conclusion, which is this season. And if you watch it like that, you can see the differences. Doctor Stone, the first season, was made in 2019, while Stone Wars the first season came out in 2019. This one came out in 2021. So it's a 2-year gap, and if you look at it more building towards this, it doesn't come across as jarring. But if you wait 2 years, it would. You know what I mean? Because it just doesn't have the same vibe, and it doesn't show or spend much time with the characters you would think they would. Nothing wrong with that. It's just different. Though I do recommend Stone Wars. It is very good. It has its faults, but nothing over glaring to the point where I don't think it's still watchable. I think it's great. I think it has a good lead up into the next arc. Pretty good. The next one you gotta watch is a special, apparently, which that's kind of weird to me. It's just a hour-long special, 55 minutes. I'll have the thoughts video out within the week from posting this. So I don't. We'll see. But I recommend it. I give it a 7 out of 10. Now moving to spoilers from here on out. So, Doctor Stone Season 2, Stone Wars. It's 11 episodes, original story by Riichirou Inagaki. I apologize for mispronunciations. And then directed by Shinya, Iino. Adapted from a manga by studio TMS Entertainment. It's action, adventure, comedy, sci-fi. It's very much more, it's sciencey, bordering more science fiction. Now, like I said, episode 1's a recap. They also they also do this weird thing where Gin and Senku have a trick they're going to pull on everybody to get them convinced, which is fine, but it's just the vibe of that moment of him, Chrome, and Gin, like, coming together for this plan that's going to keep a secret from everybody. It's kind of weird. Then they have actual action, episode 1, basically. They blow up, like, deer intestines to attract Homaru, which was supposed to be scouting them the whole time. Episode it backfires the plan, or it didn't backfire, it just didn't really go according to plan. So now they have to track her down using and they coordinate the positions. They have to track her down. See episode 2. They coordinate their positions using the cell phone. They also track her because he put things like the rocks from first season that glow in the UV light or black lights. she tracks them through that. They coordinate position, using the communication device with the cell phone, through Morse code, and they catch Homer. And then at the end of the episode 2, they hide the communicator at Senku's grave, where Tsukasa's base is. Now they have to do the plan. They convince the one watching Taiju and Yuzuriya, the one person watching is Nikki. She joins the Kingdom Science. They thought she was gonna trick her, but she's a big super fan of Lillian, the one they're impersonating. She knows it's immediately a trick, but she joins anyway because she wants the song to survive, and she appreciates Senku for protecting it. Yeah. Also, now next episode, Crom turns himself in to save Magma and Gin because they get caught by a new character, the Archer. We seen him last season, but we just didn't know his name or know anything about him. Yuka. It's this dude. Uka. Yeah, Uka's the one that was holding him down, like in shooting arrows at him, but he was intentionally missing, it turns out. Into that, Chrome turns himself in, saves Magma, and lets Gin get away. Episode 5, they have to go save Chrome, so they decide to build a car or a tank, a steam engine kind of tank. These old people in the village. This is now the transition from the village, Ishigami Village, to the Tsukasa like base and outside the base where they're setting up camp now. We see that. And then we see outside of Chrome's prison because he's taken captive. They build like pitfall because Tsukasa realizes that Senku's probably gonna build some kind of steam engine to ram into the cage, and so it makes like pitfalls so it can't happen. We meet Yo, which is to me the most annoying character in the show by far. He's a cop. Oh, he was a cop. He got fired before this, but for the petrification. But he's the prison warden now, but he's an idiot basically. And Crom escapes, and it's weird. And he's like, I'm just gonna say I died, whatever, yada, and he runs away, which is kind of what. And this what no, which I thought was gonna be more to him. It's not. What was it? Yep, Chrome breaks out of prison. Then we realize the Archer, next episode, joins Senku because he's not actually a murderer. He wants people to live, and he finds out that Yuzuya has been putting the stone people back together. If you do that fast enough and like glue them, you can revive them back, which is cool. So he's like, as long as you promise not to kill anybody, I'll join your side. The same episode that happens, at the end, Tsukasa finds the cell phone at the grave because he goes to bury Yu's little memorabilia beside everyone else because they've lost a few people so far, and Tsukasa actually does care about people. Then this is all while Senku and them's planning the siege on the Miracle Cave, which is where the revival fluid is. So now they have to get in there, take it over without killing anybody, and it works. It works until Tsukasa and Hyoga get there, and them two by themselves can basically 1v the whole kingdom of science. Which is weird because you think they have men, but they don't. I guess they get taken out or some other thing. It's weird how it happens. It truly is. Because I thought there would be more to the tricking of the people, but it's not. They win the battle, but then they lose it, and then because of things, Tsukasa basically has the advantage here, and then Senku has to come out and win. He uses stalemate. He brings the battle to a stalemate because he builds nitroglycerin, which is basically dynamite power explosions, but it's liquid form basically. So if he puts it on a paper airplane and throws it, it explodes because any little contact can make it explode. So they kind of go to stalemate. Apparently Tsukasa's big thing was that his sister was the reason he was fighting and getting stronger all the time was to pay for his sister's medical stuff to hopefully one day she can be cured of, I don't know the illness, but she's like bedridden permanently and she's like in a coma. And they find her the revival fluid on and they use it on her, and the revival fluid has like a healing element to it, and they somehow, and she becomes normal, perfectly healthy after that, which is interesting. That's the end of episode 9 to the beginning of episode 10. And then after that, surprise, surprise, the main villain is Hyuga. Hyuga has been the main villain because his whole plan has been to kill Tsukasa and take over everything. For what reason? I don't even remember anymore. Oh, same, kind of like something similar to Tsukasa, where it's very only the elite shall survive. The dumb and the weaklings should not should not deserve to live. That's what he thinks. That's what he says. So what happens is Tsukasa and Senku have to fight him. He wins. Well, Tsukasa stabbed, so he's hurt, and then it's Tsukasa hurt, then Senku versus Hyuga. Surprise, surprise, the good guys win. Homaru and Hyuga jailed. Tsukasa ends up basically, they don't have a way to cure him or anything. They don't know how to help him, nothing like that. So they decide to freeze him. Senku comes up with a way to have him, basically his body preserved as he's dying. To go into this, if you've seen Futurama, the Flash, like Fry is one of those Flash freezes, so your body preserved. And so he's gonna go learn about petrification because they're gonna petrify Tsukasa and then bring him back out of the petrification, and that should cure him, or that should keep him from dying. So they build a device to freeze him using the power of like a waterfall and stuff like that, and they put him in like a little coffin type of thing where it's always cold air and everything in there that keeps his body preserved as best as it can. And they decide where to go. They know where the source of petrification was in South America, I believe, from first season. So the opposite side of the Earth, which is the opposite side of Japan. The opposite side from Japan is the Earth, right? Or the South America, right? So that's where they're gonna sail to, and that's really building into the special, which is building into Stone World, this next season. So the rough estimate, that's the plot. I don't like a few of the new characters. Niki's kind of annoying, but grows on me. Yu is always annoying, and everything he's in makes no sense because he runs away. This is Yu, the prison warden, the cop, or ex-cop, Sheriff Yo, whatever. He's not entertaining anymore, annoying. He loses Chrome, and he's afraid he's gonna get blamed and fired for it. So he says he died, runs away, frees Hyoya, frees Huruma. He freezes Hyoga's little assistant Homaru. Because he thinks she's good, yada yada. and then he comes back like nothing happened. It's so weird. It's a ridiculous kind of 15 million people think he's a favorite. I think he's the most annoying person in Dr. Stone by a mile. He is. There's nowhere close. Do not like the dude. He faked his death after Combs escaped to avoid the blame. They eventually joined the Kingdom of Silence. The Stone Wars are over. At penance, he gets hit for punishment. What he did, he works with Yuzuya to rebuild the statues that were destroyed by Tsukasa. Yeah, they decided to rebuild the statues Tsukasa destroyed. I find him annoying. That's just me though. Niki's Grogomi. She's the one that was supposed to be watching Taiju and Yuzuya. She gets brought over because she's such a big fan of Lillian, because they have the one recording for a song, and she's just super fan. Super weird questions to you to ask Lillian just to prove, because the trick was that they're gonna prove that petrification. The United States was already out of petrification, and Lillian, since Gen can copy the voice and they have the recording, they can kind of play it, but she instantly sees through it like, you're fake, but you have that's her real voice, that's her real recording. Like, can you make more? He's like, no, I can't make more. This is the one and only. She's like, as long okay, I trust you that you'll preserve it the best you can. She grows on me. She becomes very helpful, so I like it. Then we also introduced to Yuka, the archer. He was a sonar detector for submarines. He had really good ears. He can hear the whole thing. He's a really good guy. He doesn't like people dying. There's not really much to say besides he's just a good archer and he can hear really good. So they try to avoid him up until he joins their side. His whole goal was to avoid him. He's the big issue here. And then we meet Tsukasa's little sister. As soon as we basically meet her, Tsukasa, Yoga was gonna stab. Knew Tsukasa would jump in front of stabbing his little sister, so he gets to stab Tsukasa for free that way. No, and then that's how the fight starts. I thought that was a really contrived way, but that's probably the one that makes the most sense. Like, he knew he couldn't beat Tsukasa in a one-on-one fight, so he knew he would jump in front of it. So no spoilers, just everything here is okay. But we haven't seen anything about her. She says she's gonna watch over her brother's body, watch over him until they figure out how to bring him back. Tsukasa's whole thing was because of to help her and stuff like that. Not just in this world, but in the previous, before petrification, was all to help his little sister. So they're trying to bring him back and like redeem him as a bad guy, because of like, he destroyed statues, but they rebuilt them all, so he didn't technically kill anybody. He did everything for his little sister, so trying to sympathize. He even protects Senku from Hyoga. He does a good job. They do a good job of trying to redeem him, in all honesty. But it just is rushed, I think, because his whole reasoning was like, who would you chose? You get woken up thousands of years in the future with the ability to bring back whoever you seem fit, and the world can't support he said the world can't support 7 billion people. So who would you have picked to revive for the world to have better for the world? And he said I chose the young people that had a full life ahead of them. And it was kind of weird because it felt like his whole motivation stemmed from his reasoning of who he's bringing back. But truly, it feels like those things are really disconnected here, and I don't like that. Crom, a lot of the stuff is from his perspective this season. Like, the whole jailbreak, like 2 episodes are like from his perspective. His conflict with the sniper guy. A lot of, like, a good probably third season from his perspective. A little bit from Tsukasa, a little bit from again, a little Senku probably gets the most still, but it's a lot less than season 1. Season 1 also had like more than double the amount of episodes. This is only 11 episodes. So I'm sure it feels like they're rushing this more, but at the same time, it doesn't get the same vibe as like fast paced here. It feels more like, well, it's fast paced, just less sciencey, more action, typical shonen season. Uh, the nice thing is Senku does connect with, like get to talk to Tsukasa at the end. They actually seem like they become friends. Senku does want to save him, so that's cool. What else? Those are the characters. For the season itself, it feels very similar as last season. We're using tricks, building the steam engine, the phone trick again, using the phone trick people again. I mean, the stalemate by Senku by coming up with nitroglycerin, uh, saving Tsukasa. It's the same as season one, but it's more mixed up with like traditional shonen seasons of like there's a lot of fights between Hyoga, Sniper, Chrome. Tsukasa's fighting a lot more. It's much more typical fighting than season one led you believe it would be. There was some action in season one, but there was like an arc, and then there's like after that there's more build up. I guess it felt more spread out season one because of how 24 episodes, but this one it feels like it's the whole way, probably because they're fitting it into 11, and episode 1 being more recap, and season 11 being more prologue. So that's basically 9 episodes just of trying to fit in everything. What is episode 11 called? Yeah, prologue, Dr. Stone, and Stone was beginning. So this is a recap. This is like wrap up. So like a lot of it's very much pushed together in a way. Not in a bad pacing way. You can kind of tell it's a different pacing, but some moments are paced very fast. Some moments are paced kind of slow. I think the Chrome being in prison was a little slow, but yeah. One thing that became interesting to me, they use Gin a lot more as a straight man, which is like someone that we're getting a lot of this information and perspective from Gin, because you can't do it from the people that's from the Stone Age because they don't understand what Senku's talking about. Gin's meant to be just any other guy listening to a super genius. Like, how do you do? Like a lot of this, he doesn't. Chrome was more of the straight man season one where he doesn't understand stuff. He's learning slowly. Gin was more of a trickery. Now Gin's tricking people, but more learning a lot of stuff from his perspective when we can. Chrome kind of does that also this season, but Gin felt like the big one to me. I believe the beginning was more Gin. Maybe later on it became Chrome being those times he was there from his time in the prison and breaking out. We do see some stuff from Nick's view, which is interesting. That's more how the writing differs from season one, at least. The animation was great, though. I think animation for the season was better than season one. I think the fights were better. Maybe not paced properly, but animation is what great fights. The environment, a whole new environment, not just the village. We get to see Ishikami Village at the beginning. We get to see where they set up the prison area, Tsukasa's base, the waterfall areas. I think they do a good job of filling out the environment in a stone world, because there's not much you can do to like bring it back to like, you're not gonna go see a city that's be working. So it's gonna be hard to get unique environments. But I think they did a great job, especially with Tsukasa's base being more of a rock formation they've made, or like just a normal rock formation. It looks like they've made it, of course. I might be wrong about it. Well, they look like they kind of made it around, because they have like the prison looks like a big rock formation, but it's not. They carved it out, of course, or maybe it's just a cave. But where did they move from? We didn't see that in near the Miracle Cave the first season, so maybe they came up with it. But even so, I think they do a good job. I don't expect them to be in the forest the whole time. We don't really see much being in the forest except for like beginning going to Tsukasa's trekking Homaru and going to Tsukasa's base. So I appreciate their good and different environments as much as they can be. The new unique characters all look fantastic. The sniper unique, Nikki, you probably looks the cop, the sheriff, the prison warden. He looks very different from everyone else because he still has those stone like things on his wrist. And he has a thing on his eye which he can take off somehow. Then he has like he uses baton. It's interesting. It's interesting. He's not entertaining, but he's unique looking. Animation is great. No complaints at all. The sound, the subs are good. The subs are great. Dub has a problem in voice. Some voices don't fit right. As in, maybe mine lies much more with the character. Like, a lot of the background voices are very different in dub. Or very weird. I would say you is too, but maybe that's more my personal thing. But the background, like the Soldier 1, Soldier 2, like the background for Tsukasa's army feels very... They all sound the same to me. And then they all feel like they're meant to be dumbed down versions of like strongmen. Like they're meant to just be not smart, very dumb, and they all sound the same. And I don't really care for that. Like they are different people. I get budget restraints, but at the same time, that's probably the big gripe about dub. I might hear it in sub too, but I don't know. I couldn't tell it in sub, but I obviously can't understand the language. That's probably the only problem I have with the translations, the dubs and the subs. I think sub is great though. I didn't notice any problems. The dub voice just sounds kind of cartoonish for some people, and I watched it. I watched a lot more in sub this season than dub. I probably watched just one of the prison episodes in dub, and then towards the end, like episode, I watched, I think, episode 6 in dub, and I think I watched episode 9 in dub. Rest of it was in sub. I didn't see a problem with any of it, in all honesty. It's entertaining at least. I do not have much to gripe about this season except like it's still a civilization builder at the end. He's just trying to build the world back up. Tsukasa's redemption feels rushed. I don't like how they're trying to make him. I'd want him to be a good guy, but you can't rush that. That's probably why they try to kill him off, so you're not gonna see him soon. So maybe as time goes by, you're gonna be brought back to like liking him more. Because watching it from back to back season 1 to this is very much he just killed all these people. You're telling me he knows everybody? It's like they kind of point that as like, you know where he killed everybody? Like, yep, everybody. I remember all the stones up because he's trying to make him a good guy. I get it. Even though he really was not portrayed as a good guy at the beginning. He is portrayed as a charismatic tyrant leader that will make the world how he wants. Now, all of a sudden, he's making the world better for everyone. Which they make believable this season. Last season was not like that. He killed Senku. Senku's only alive because he's smart. He would have killed Senku, and that'd be it. The plan to trick them with Lilian backfires immediately, and then we don't see any of the other people they tricked really say anything about it. Like, that's crazy. You just got told the world's back normal, it works, and it's a lie. You're gonna be no, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be pissed off. It's gonna be like, no, how dare you lie to me like that? I get why, and it's like it makes sense, but they didn't have any. It didn't feel like any consequences happened from that trick. The Taiju Yuzuya reunion with Senku is not good. It's like 2 seconds, and I just didn't. It felt rough. It felt nonsensical almost to the point of like they didn't have one. It's been over a year since they've seen each other, it should have been more to it. It was fine. It was just a fast paced reading, I guess. They're dynamic to fit in. The Taiji and Yuzia, the dynamic to fit into the Kingdom of Science feels weird. They try to put Taiji like he is the shield. He will take all the hits. But every time he does something, it's a joke. He's like, you couldn't even block that. And like, oh my goodness. Everything he does is a joke for Taiji. Taiji's, everything he does is just, he takes hits, they make it a joke. Not a serious fight for him with him. And it just felt like there was a weird momentum of like, oh, it's a serious fight. Taiji jumps in, blocks the hit, and all of a sudden it turns into a joke. I'm like, that's fine, but not every single time. And that's what it felt like. Every moment Taiji was in a fight, it became a joke within the same scene. Yuzuriha doesn't feel like she has a dynamic in the Kingdom of Science yet. She feels like she's just there being Senku's friend, and she puts stone statues back together. I don't remember her having a conversation except for like one person, and then it wasn't a conversation, they just said something. So it was like a Taiji at least has more screen time and does talk. The police guy's annoying. Yo's annoying. I don't like him. Not right now, at least. He might be redeemed in my eyes, but right now I do not care. But I also thought the same thing about Magma for a good while, and Magma still isn't really redeemed. He's just not annoying to me. Yeah, putting statues back together. I'm just gonna say it. Feels like a complete ass pull. So no one dies? No one dies in this show. That's fine. It's a shonen. It's a very much shonen science fiction show. I get it. Why? Why even say it? Just say, whoop. I guess it's all about building back Tsukasa as a good guy. Whatever. The show is going from science to science fiction because of petrification, stuff like that. I'm okay with that. It's very much science fiction anyway because it happened, but it doesn't. The season 1 had a little bit like very little science fiction and more like sciencely itself. Now it's very much science fiction journey. Tsukasa. His reasoning for destroying statues. Talked about that. Hyoga being the twist villain, like they make it. Have you seen like, oh, who could have seen this? We all seen it coming. We all, since the end of season 1, we seen Tsukasa was not going to be the final. It was going to be Hyoga. Hyoga was going to be that because even the archer guy literally talked about, oh, it looks like they're going to have a fallout soon. Like, you don't say. Homaru even like the same scene that Hyoga attacks Tsukasa. Homaru says Hyoga's real goal was to take Tsukasa out. It was whatever. I don't think it was handled well with being a twist. You probably should just we knew it was gonna happen though, so I guess it wasn't a twist. It was just a weird way to build that up. Oh, there's one thing I don't understand. I truly don't understand. Why they blow up the Miracle Cave? Homaru blew up the Miracle Cave and still got caught. How, like, well, I know how she got caught. She went to go save Hyoga and kill Tsukasa and Senku, but all the villagers, well, Kohaku again, and all that stuff, jump in. But why they blow up the Miracle Cave? I don't understand. Why would they blow up the Miracle Cave? They use dynamite to do it, and I don't understand. Maybe I just missed that part of the plot for them, but I just didn't understand it. To me, the only real reason Hyoga had to do anything was just to kill Tsukasa, because he would be the number 1 if he killed Tsukasa. But he tells Homaru to blow up the Miracle Cave, and then they fight, and then nothing happened from it. Apparently, they still have the maybe it was just a we don't have the deep petrification stuff anymore. But I bet they do. Because I think he figured it out, didn't he? I don't know. Maybe they just got to find another cave. That's why I never understood it in the first place. It's a cave. Why can't they find another cave? I don't know. That felt weird. I don't understand that. I'm guessing it's for building up next scene because this happens like the last episode. They blow up the cave, and the fight happens. Maybe the second to last episode. I believe it happens about, yeah, episode 10. 10 and 11. um, maybe in the episode 9. Honestly, it's towards the end of the season. I felt like it's just a build up for next season. It's like, oh, we don't have much fluid because the cave's destroyed. So we're gonna have to use on select time. It's so they don't just reintroduce a lot of people into consequences. Even though this season kind of taught us there's no consequences. Stones actually be brought back can be brought back together. No one dies. Everyone's the hero, except for Hyoga and Homaru. And who knows? 2 seasons from now, they might actually be okay. And he's like, you know what? I was wrong. Like, I don't care. I don't care. It's a shonen, but that's what it's basically telling me. But the end of the season, I am looking very forward to the. I do like Tsukasa a lot. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the show, which makes it hard, which is fine, but also like his redemption's rushed and feels weird. It's not over yet, but we'll see. I am looking forward to exploring the world because they're gonna go outside Earth. They're gonna sail. We'll have to say goodbye to. We're not gonna have the whole village go. That's for sure. So we're gonna see who we're gonna see a lot of time in next season. The next next thing we have to watch is a special. It's called that Yusa. Ryusio? Dr. Stone special episode. And you have to watch it. It's canon. Well, I don't. You probably don't. You don't have to do anything, but it leads into New World. Get off that real fast. It leads into New World. So, like, it's canon enough that you should watch it. It's a season 3 Dr. Stone special episode. That's weird that they made it an actual canon thing, not just made it something cool to watch. It's an hour, 54 minutes long, so about 15 minutes long, I guess. So 2 episodes. I guess they didn't want to put it at the end of this season, which is fine. I think it concludes perfectly where the season is. But why not just put it in the beginning of next season? Maybe just a special thing they want to do. But why not, like, say it's just the first 2 episodes put together? I don't know. I'm sure they had their own reasons. There's probably a lot to it. Conclusion, though. It's a post-apocalyptic, fast-paced shonen with an expansive cast of unique characters in a world of science, borderline, or going into a science fiction kind of thing. If that's what you like, it's a good show. I'm enjoying it. I like post-apocalyptic stuff. I appreciate the science. We're gonna actually get to learn more stuff. How are they gonna sciencey the science fiction? We don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be bad guys, good guys. We'll see. Someone has to be over there, right? We'll see. Score 7 out of 10. I've seen better Shonen. I've also seen lots, and I can at least tell you I enjoy watching this, and I hope it continues to get better. Thank you for watching.